Alright, boys and girls on the YouTube.com. I have another battle here with Sharpedo43. And this is just a standard match, not tournament or anything, so, yeah, it's just that. So, yeah, looking at our teams, he is carrying a Tapu Fini, which is interesting. And, no Sharpedo this time, which is good, because he usually wrecks me with Sharpedo when he brings it. And, actually looking at my team, I didn't actually bring anything for Sharpedo, which was kind of dumb on my part. But, you know, good for me. Anyway, so I'm going to lead with Thundurus as he leads with his Swampert, and that's that. Now, I guess he's going to predict a, Hidden Power Grass or some other grass move maybe, and switch out into Zapdos. And that's actually okay. We're just going for the knockoff now. He does have, I believe, Rocky Helmet, but I'm going to be able to get rid of that, so it's not going to be a problem for me anymore. Now, this isn't actually my Prankster Thundurus. This is actually a Defiant one, which is kind of nice with the Defogger. So basically it's an anti-Defogger. That's why I really like Defiant. Anyway, I'm going to stay in because I wanted to see how much Thunderbolt would do. And he also wants to see how much Thunderbolt would do. And as you can see, we kind of cripple each other, but I'm faster. So, yeah, as he goes out into Arcanine and gets the Intimidate off, I really should have went for a Superpower. Oh, well. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and switch out now because I don't want to get Extreme Speeded. I go out into my Arcanine to get the Intimidate. And knowing that I should be able to take it pretty well, now he ends up critting me on this Extreme Speed, and it does a lot. Now, because he crit me, the attack drop I got is negated, but as you can see, it still does quite a lot to my Arcanine. I'm not even sure if I could have survived, too. Well, maybe I actually probably could have, but that's definitely a Choice Band damage Arcanine right there, so that's what I'm thinking it is. I'm going to go into my, my Necrozma because it's a physical tank of sorts, and just go for the Stealth Rock. And he's going to go into a Swampert, which is probably his Stealth Rocker. And, yeah, we're just going to be trying to outmaneuver each other with our hazards. As you can see, I go into my Starmie, who does have Stealth Rock, and I'm just going to go ahead and, I do have a way to get rid of Stealth Rocks. I have Rapid Spin. This is Bulky Starmie, and, yeah, like I said, I did predict the Stealth Rocks in his part, and I obviously want to get rid of his. And he's just going to go for the Earthquake, which, is stabbed. It's going to do some decent damage. I am Bulky Starmie, but Starmie isn't overall very bulky. But it still does a little less than half, so which is really damage I like to see. I'm just going to go for a Scald. If I can get a Burn off on the Swampert, then it is pretty much super crippled, in my opinion. It can't do anything to me. And, yeah, he's just going to actually stay in and try to do his own Stealth Rocks again. And, yeah, I end up getting the Bird. So now this thing absolutely does not threaten me. He can't really stay in and, Earthquake me anymore. I could easily just recover it all off. And, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Rapid Spin again because I can. He doesn't really have a way to prevent my Rapid Spin. No, he's going to go into Tapu Koko. And Tapu Fini, not Tapu Koko. Tapu Fini, because it's Fini. It's Fini. It's an inside joke, actually. I think he typoed funny as Finny one time in my Twitch chat, and ever since it's just been using it. Anyway, I need to explain the inside joke. But Tapu Fini is interesting because it can actually carry Defog, which is makes it actually one of the better users of Defog. Since there's very limited users of Defog, and a lot of them are weak to Stealth Rocks. Now, Fini is obviously not, and it's also quite bulky, so it's a pretty good user of them, and once I see that, though, I'm like, okay, maybe I can get Thundurus off in against this thing to get the boost with my Defiant ability, so, but not right now. I'm going to go into Necrozma again. Like I said, this is a physically defensive Necrozma, but I'm thinking this Tapu Fini is probably going to be a bulky set, and, yeah, I'm pretty confident that I can probably not take too much from this. Either way, I just want to set up my Stealth Rocks again, which will force him to defog again. And what I'm hoping to do is eventually go out in my Thundurus. So, yeah, I'm just going to go for the Stealth Rocks. As he gets this opportunity to go into Weavile. No, I go for a Morning Sun to get back to full. And, like I said, Necrozma's ability prevents it from taking full damage from super effective moves. So it has, kind of like Solid Rock. And mine is very physically defensive. And as you can see, that's a Weavile, folks, and it's going for a knockoff, knocking off my item, and it only did a little more than half. So I'm really confident that I can actually take another knockoff and heal him with Morning Sun, and being that he is Life-Orbed, I can actually wall this thing. Although he is going to try to go for the Icicle Crash, which can be dangerous for me, because it can flinch. Now, I do survive it, and I'm able to get off the Morning Sun again anyway, so that puts me in yellow, and yeah, I'm just going to keep going for the Morning Sun, knowing that he might wither himself down with Life Orb. Now, he doesn't want to risk failing the flinch again, so he's going to switch out back into Tapu Fini. And, yeah, obviously he's going to do that to defog again. I don't really think he can do much to me. In fact, I'm thinking this Necrozma can wall really effectively against his team, so I really do need to keep it around. And, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and switch out into, take the risky play, you know, because if he predicts this, he could easily just attack me, and I just go into Thunderous here to get the Defiant boost. Now, then I decide to go for Thunderbolt, because I'm thinking, okay, if he stays in and just tries to kill me, it would be a problem if I went for one of my physical moves. This is like mixed Thunderous. I think I have Superpower, I have Knockoff, I have Thunderbolt. I forget my last move, actually. But I decided to go for a Thunderbolt, and he ends up going into Arcanine, which actually ends up giving me +3 attack, so I'm actually thinking I could have killed this thing with a Superpower if I went for it. Still, you know, a Thunderbolt is still going to do decent damage to this thing, however, so being that it's not a bulky set, and as you can see, I hit it down to red. Still probably could have gotten the kill, but whatever. I still have one more attack on Thunders, or I could use it as Death Fodder, so I decided to switch it out again. Plus, he always has to think twice. As long as I have that, he kind of has to think twice about using his, He has to think twice about using his Defog ability, move, so there's that. Anyway, back in Necrozma, he goes for the Flare Blitz, which is his strongest move, and as you can see, Necrozma takes that like a champ. It does a little over half, but being that's a Choice Band Arcanine, using its, how much base power does that have in Arcanine? A ton. I'm really like how well I took that, as he goes into Zapdos, and, yeah, he's just gonna do things, and the mist goes away, and that's cool. And, yeah, now he's gonna Volt Switch, and, that's going to do a little more than I would like to my Necrozma, being that it's a special move. But now it's going to go right back into Tapu Fini. Now, this Tapu Fini, for me, is my biggest problem, because this Tapu Fini really does wall me effectively. So it's me, basically, right now, he's getting shut down by my Necrozma. I'm getting shut down by this Tapu Fini. And, yeah, it's just going to be one of those battles that one of us, we have to keep trying to outmaneuver the other to eventually push through, and I'm just going to see how much damage I can do with Psychic. Now, he ends up getting the special attack drop with his Moonblast, so I'm going to be doing a little bit more than that with Psychic, which means I can probably get some, one of the things about Tapu Fini is, unlike my Necrozma, he can't really get any reliable recovery moves, so I know I can actually wear it down despite his leftovers after seeing that Psychic damage, but not right now. I need to switch out to get rid of that minus special attack, but what I'm saying is I can punish him for defogging with some Psychics, and especially if I get a special defense drop with one. Anyway, so there's the other thing, and I'm just actually going to go for the Stealth Rock. It forces him to go for a defog, so there's that. And, yeah, that's what I do. Now, I could probably go out into my... No, I decide to switch out this turn into my Jirachi. Yeah, that's what I do. Because I thought that Thunderish would be too obvious, and it's a good thing, too, because he goes for a Moonblast. And this Jirachi is the other thing that I'm thinking that I might be able to take out Tapu Fini with. It is my Choice Scarf Jirachi. I did fix it, so now it actually is Jolly instead of Timid like I was using it the other day. But yeah, I can Iron Head this thing, and with a 60% flinch chance with my ability, it's a pretty nice way to maybe destroy this thing. Although he's going to predict that and go out into his Swampert, which is pretty bulky and resists my Iron Head. And as you can see, it resists that pretty nicely. And, yeah, I obviously can't afford to switch in, even with the flinch chance, because I don't want to take an Earthquake, even after the bird. So I go into Thunderous, like I said, predicting an Earthquake, and instead he just sets up a Stealth Rock, so... Actually, I was predicting an Earthquake or a Stealth Rock there. Yeah, so either way, I wanted to go into Thunderous, being that it might be my last chance to switch it back in. As he decides to switch out, and he goes out into Guns N' Roses, his Roserade, and I decide actually just to go for a knockoff. Yeah, as my final move, figuring that it'll do decent damage to whatever he switches into, or just get rid of the item. Now, as you can see, I didn't actually knock off an item from that Roserade, so I'm thinking it's a Z-move Roserade of some sort, which is kind of interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a Z-move Roserade. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting, but I did enough damage that I feel pretty confident about going into Jirachi and just Iron Head it, killing it, and I do, thankfully. And he's going to go right back into Swampert, because he can, and, yeah, just going to go ahead and switch out, because I still don't want to take an Earthquake from this thing. And, yeah, I'm just going to go on to Starmie, knowing that I can take an Earthquake really exceptionally well, knowing that's probably what he's going to do. Instead, he just goes for a Scald, so I guess that works too, because Scald's not going to do much to me, and even if he does get the bird, I do have Natural Cure, so it wouldn't stay around for very long. Meaning that the bird, damage was nerfed in Gen 7, it really wouldn't even be much of an inconvenience at all. Anyway, in comes this Tapu Fini again, as I just decide, I believe, to go for another Rapid Spin to get rid of his Stealth Rocks. And like I said, This is one of those battles. We're trying to outmaneuver the other. We're trying to just get that damage on the opponent's wall that's causing us problems. And, yeah. I always kind of enjoyed these battles, though, because, you know, it's really kind of like a chess match. I know some people really hate, you know, this kind of battle where it gets like this, but I find them actually tactfully satisfying. Tacticfully. Is that even a word? I find this tactic satisfying. Any switch, I switch out into Jirachi. And he is going to defog. So, there you go. Now I'm going to Iron Head. I want to see how much damage that does. And it does, like, I don't know, 15%. And unfortunately, it doesn't flinch. I swear, I haven't gotten a flinch once with Iron Head, with this Jirachi. I mean, come on, man. It's supposed to be 60%. He's supposed to flinch more times, and it does not flinch. So, I don't know what the dealio is with that. Anyway, so in comes Starmie again, as he decides to switch out again as well, going back into Swampert. So, not actually a bad double switch for me, because I match up pretty well against the Swampert. Although he ends up carrying a berry that I don't really see often. What is that called? The blah, 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 I forget the name of it. The Ayapa Papa berry? I don't even know if I pronounced that right, but I think it gives you 50% HP if you're at 25% or lower, so that Swampert now has more HP, so that's just what I needed. Another wall with more HP from his team. And I'm just going to go for a Scald, and unfortunately I do not get the bird on the incoming Weavile, but I do get decent damage on it. So that's a thing, and here I really don't have any safe switches for this Weavile. So I decided to stay in, hoping that he might overpredict or that my bulky Starmie can live a knockoff, but it can't. And that's pretty obvious. But like I said, looking at my team, I really don't have many outs for dark types. It's kind of a weakness of the team I brought. But, yeah, I'm just going to go back into Jirachi, because I can, at the very least, you know, revenge kill it. And I did lose my, my Rapid Spinner, so now he's going to go into Swampert, trying his hardest to, you know, get off his Stealth Rocks, because he knows that I can't get rid of them anymore. So, yeah, that's not great. I'm going to go ahead and Stealth Rock him as well, because, I mean, obviously, aside from the fact that Stealth Rock is nice to get up, I figure that his team actually has 2 Pokemon weak to Stealth Rock still, and if he wants to get rid of Stealth Rocks on his field, he's going to have to use Defog, and Defog actually gets rid of both players' Stealth Rocks. So basically, I'm giving him a choice. We both went for Stealth Rocks, so I'm like, okay, if you want both of us to have Stealth Rocks, that's fine. And I feel like that advantages me, but if you want to get rid of both Stealth Rocks, I'm okay with that too. I'm not going to hit you with a Psychic either way. And, so yeah, I just go for a Psychic on the switch there, and I'm going to keep going for a Psychic again. No, I think I heal this turn. But yeah, he is going to Defog, so I'm actually okay with that. You know? So because he has Defog and I had Rapid Spin, and he has more Pokemon weak to Stealth Rock, it's actually better for him that neither of us have Stealth Rocks. So, yeah, that was his choice. And, good for him. Good for me. Either way, it does waste a turn of that thing, so I'm able to heal Necrozma. And, yeah, that Tapu Fini is getting down to 50%, which is kind of nice. And I'm just going to take some Psychic Pot Shots. He ends up... no, I go back and use Stealth Rocks again. That's right. Because, you know, why not? He's going to force him to have to go Defog again at some point. And here he just goes for a Roost on his Zapdos. I guess he just wants to make sure it's nice and healthy. So I just go for a Psychic, and I end up actually doing about the same amount, you know, that he was at before. So I'm doing less than he can actually heal with Roost, which is not really what I wanted, but whatever. I could get a special defense drop at some point, or a crit maybe, but that's really the best I could hope for. Anyway, he's going to Volt Switch this turn. I guess finally not satisfied and realizing that I can probably, if I get a special defense boost, that this ends. But it's nice that I forced him to keep damage on that Zapdos, because he does take 25% as long as I have Stealth Rocks back up, but he doesn't want that to happen, so he's going to go right back into his Tapu Fini, but that's going to give me another Psychic on it, and now he's in red. I can kill him with a Psychic, so if he wants to Defog, it's going to cost him his Tapu Fini, which is huge for me, because that thing going is, you know, just out of the way is huge for my team, and I don't need to explain why. Because it just should be obvious watching this battle that thing was causing me problems. So, one thing it does do, though, is allows him to get a safe switch into Weavile. And, he is going to try to Ice Trickle Crash for the flinch. And, I think I just go for the Morning Sun this turn. But, like I said, looking at his HP, he's going to have a few more hits. He's going to, I think, has 3 more hits in him, maybe 4. So, yeah, he probably can get the flinch eventually. And now I switched it up to knockoff. I guess it does a little tiny bit more damage than Icicle Crash. If I would have known he switched up to that, I would have just went for a Morning Sun again. But I mean, instead try to go for a Stealth Rocks. Just basically sacrificing Necrozma, trying to time out when his Life Orb is going to kill him, because, as I said, he still has this Weavile, because it forces this Weavile to stay in, because he can't switch it back in safely, but it's also going to hit that Zapdos on the switch, so it's just a good thing to set up. Now here, I feel like I have it pretty much in the bag because of my Weavile. Now I make actually a pretty bad misplay here. He's going to go for the Icicle Shard, which kills him, and I go for the U-turn, which is really the worst thing I could have done. Because now I'm locked into it, and he's going to go into Zapdos, and he knows that I have my Weavile left. So I have to hope that I can live a Heat Wave, and he doesn't bird me, because if I can get Weavile in here, I'm pretty sure it wraps up this battle. But that was a super bad misplay for me. I almost cost myself the match right there. I should have just, went for the Iron Head. It would have been safer, because then I could have had him kill Chirachi and gotten a save switch in a Weavile. For once, there's a time where U-turn is actually not the safest play. But I am able to live a Heat Wave. He doesn't bird me, so that's good. I just go for the Icicle Crash to kill the Zapdos, and I still have one more hit in me, thankfully, and going to be able to handle his Swampert, which is his last Pokemon. And, yeah, that's good, as I just go for an Icicle Crash and win. So, good game there, Sharpedo43. Nice long one. Today's question of the day is, who is your favorite character in any video game? Now, most of the time I ask Pokemon-related questions, but today I decided to, expand it to a broad, more of a broad question about all video games. As for me, I'm thinking kind of Papyrus has taken that. Papyrus from Undertale. I'm actually a pretty big Undertale fan. I love it. I think it's one of the best games I've played. It's a super excellent indie RPG if you've never heard of it somehow, but Papyrus is hilarious and probably easily my favorite character in any video game. So leave a comment about that and see you guys again next time. Later.